everyone, welcome back to the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge. Today is challenge number 2 and I'm your host Clady, and I'm very happy to be here with you for these 30 minutes while we sharpen our skills in Illustrator. But let me say hello to everyone in the chat. I can see that Jyotirmya is here. John, hi, I was saying hello before in the chat while I was watching the amazing stream with Pierre and Aaron. Keith, nice to see you. Colin, Anthony, Megan, that one, and Anthony again, Scott, Alberto, what's up? Nice to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. Cartoon Kate, I'm going to scroll up in the chat because I want to try to say hi to all of you. I'm very thankful for this time that I'm here with you. Carol Pearl, nice to see you. Sherry, Colleen, Matt, Wade, thank you so much for being here. And we also have Black Becky. Thank you so much for joining me here. I remember chatting with you on Discord. But in fact, let's get started. I'm going to jump into my screen right away because for those of you who are joining us today for the first time, it's very important to start by browsing our fantastic landing page. And in order to get to the landing page, all you have to do is head to behance.net/challenge/illustrator. And I'm gonna just to zoom here a little bit so you can see the actual URL. And in this fantastic landing page, first and foremost, all you have to do is to click on the big blue button in order to join the challenge. And then when you scroll down, you will see that every single day, each challenge will be unlocked. So as you can see today, we're going to be working on an invitation design. We're going to be styling paragraphs using the paragraph styles and the character styles. We're going to export for print, talk about bleed, so many fantastic stuff. And I know that many of you might wondering how come that we're not using Illustrator in InDesign, but I really want to explore all the possibility of each single app. And that's what we're talking about at the beginning. This is the right place to learn new techniques within Adobe Illustrator. I'm going to scroll in the chat to see if there is any other chat. Chris, Vectorpedia, TM, David, Roseanne, welcome. Hi Steve, piacere di vederti. As you guys probably know, me and Steve do Italian classes also besides having fun here at Adobe Live. Also I can see Wade sharing links. Thank you so much, Wade. You're super amazing as usual. Hi kids, and Christelle from France. Hello, Jesus Ramirez in the chat. Fantastic. Beautiful. So in order to get started and to follow along with me, all you have to do is to click on Get Started here, and you'll be able to download a starter file for today. As you can see, you're going to have your invitation folder, and inside the invitation folder, you will find a background that we're going to use for our invitation, and then invitation text, and then which is a Word document, and we're going to see how fantastically Illustrator will handle this invitation, and then the starter file, which is an Illustrator file. All you have to do is to double click on the Illustrator file in order to get started. John, you know Italian as well. That's fantastic. It's me, Mario. Where's me, Clady? John, that's super fun. Luna, Dimitri from Moscow, Ken-chan, Carrie, fantastic. So Sarah, yes, I'm Italian. Ciao. Wonderful. Okay, so before we get started, I really want to remind you about our fantastic community. Let's head back to our landing page. In order to join the community, all you have to do is to click here on the community chat link, which you will find just right under the big blue button on our landing page. And once you do so, you're going to be transported into our fantastic world of Discord. Discord is a place where you can share your work in order to get a review from the amazing Adobe Live mentor. Also, here we have the beautiful community of designers, students, professionals, pretty much everyone that wants to learn and know more about Illustrator, and of course promote your work. This is the right place where we want to see what you're up to. And remember, as I say all the time, this is a safe space where you can expand by creating new portfolio pieces, or perhaps learn new techniques. And if you are unsure about what you're creating, this is also the right place where you have the freedom to share your work in order to get more inspiration and of course feedback. But let me show you how you're gonna get feedback. I'm gonna travel on this side just real quick. Let me hop on the other side of the screen. And as you can see here, we have a feedback channel where you can post your work. And the right channel to use is the one called challenge. Once you click on the challenge channel, all you have to do is to click on the little plus icon. But let's jump in Illustrator. I'm going to show you real quick what what's going to be the final design for today. So let me do that real quick. And here it is. That's what we're going to be working on. This is going to be our creation for today in Illustrator. And before doing so, I want to remind you also to post your work on Behance, because that's where you can be discovered by the amazing Behance and Adobe Live team. So we're going to talk about how to post your work in order to have, let's see, I think I was checking out some of your works, how to check the Behance in order to be discovered with the hashtag AI Daily Challenge. We're going to talk about that at the end of the stream. So make sure to stick around. And if you also just want to perhaps be inspired, all you have to do is to go to behance.net/galleries/challenges, and you'll be able to explore XD, Photoshop, and of course the Illustrator past challenges and selected work. So remember, your work can be featured if you do publish that on Behance. Fantastic. So hopefully by now you already open your Illustrator file. If this is the very first time that you're working with Illustrator, don't worry. All you have to do is to scroll down in the landing page and click on Get Adobe Illustrator, and you'll be able to access a 7-day trial. Also, while I'm opening the app and jumping into this new file, I want to make sure that for all of you that are perhaps saying hello, asking me a question from YouTube, to tune in on behance.net/live, so I will be able to answer your questions. So I know Michelle is saying, I missed day 1 and day 2. Is there a theme or this is challenge series? Michelle, is a challenge series. I'm going to be exploring illustration, graphic design, and typography. So hopefully we're going to have a lot of fun during these 2 weeks together. And for those of you who don't know me, I always forget to introduce myself. I'm really excited about getting started, but I am Claudia and I'm Italian, and I'm Italian designer based in Manchester, UK, where I run my studio, Print My Soul. So you can go to printmysoul.com to see my portfolio, or I am Claudia to watch all the Adobe Live videos and find a ton of free resources that you can just download from my website. Fantastic. So it looks like there is no more question. Let me see. Looks like everyone is saying hello. Wade is sharing the fantastic link for Discord. Perfect. So I'm going to here start with the file, the starter file. You're very welcome, Michelle, and keep that question coming. I'm going to try to look at the chat while working all the time. If you do want to know what's happening with this file, and Colleen is saying, yes, I have a banner to design for a client and I was wondering how to get their text into an Illustrator file. Brilliant. We're going to look into that in just a second. This is the entire topic of the stream. But the most important thing to understand is that if we're working in this case for a print invitation, we really want to make sure that we create this red line around the file. And that's why I provided the starter file for you. But if you wish to start from scratch and make sure that we create the bleed, let's head back to the home page. So this is the first page that you find when you open Illustrator. Click on Create New. And in this case, what we really want to focus on here is to perhaps go into print, and as you can see, we have this little button that says More Settings. In the More Settings, you will find this item called bleed, and what the bleed is exactly the red line. In Europe, the professional standard is 3 millimeters. So all you have to do is to click 3. And as you can see, it will give you a size of 3 millimeter all around your artboard. And what the bleed is, let me see if I can find a white page here that I can show you. So the bleed is a little bit of extra space where we're going to be stretching our images. So when the printer cuts it, there's not going to be any chance of finding the white page. So imagine if your image finishes just, let's say, here, and the printer, that's where the printer has to cut the paper, then when the big blade chops off, we can have a little bit of the white of the background showing off. Well, if we stretch it a little bit bigger than the actual file size, and let's see what happens once we click on Create Document. Here it is. We have these little red outline, so we're going to be bringing our image to that size. So let's do so, and let's see actually how it works. I'm going to click on Shift Command P to start to browse your folder. Make sure to head to the destination folder where you have downloaded your invitation files. And I'm going to click on background in order to load the background and click on place to place it into our design. And in fact, as you can see, I'm going to start from outside the bleed and click once. As you can see, this image is super big, so we're gonna resize it. In order to resize it proportionally, make sure to click on the black arrow, which is our selection tool, and then hold on Shift and click and drag in towards the center. In this case, we're gonna be able, just like so, to resize the image proportionally. And as I was saying before, probably I'm gonna move this to the side just one second. The trim line, so where the printer is going to cut our invitation, is this black line over here, while this red line is the bleed. So if we make sure that the image goes a little bit outside the trim line, and you can see the difference here going under view and trim view, you'll see the difference. So this extra space is just to make sure that when printed, we're not going to have any problem. Fantastic. So let's go back into our file. We already brought in our image. Perhaps I'm going to go to my layers and double click on the layers and call this one background. Oops. As you know, I can't spell. And then we're going to click on the lock in order to lock our image and click on OK. This is going to allow us to draw and place other shapes without moving the image. Click on the little plus icon here under the layer panels in order to layer panel in order to create a new layer. And this is where I'm going to be importing the text. So how many pixels is 3mm bleed? I actually have no idea. Hopefully Wade can help us with that. I'm sure that if you just change the units from millimeters to pixels, that will help you. But also don't forget that whenever you type a size of anything in Illustrator, Illustrator can change the size for you. So in fact, just to give you the answer, let's see if I put 3mm and then I change it into pixels. Here it is 8.5 pixels. So that's your answer over there. Illustrator is fantastic doing math. But now it's time to import our text. So I'm going to go back to my folder of our invitation and click on the invitation text, which is a doc file, as you can see. All I have to do is to click and drag it into Illustrator and make sure that we remove all text formatting and click on OK. And as you can see, Illustrator opened a new file with the text. So all I have to do is to click, press on Command C to copy, go back to our invitation and press Command C to bring it in, just like so. But let's get started and edit our text. I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm doing here with the text. I'm going to press on T in order to bring in our type tool, and I'm going to double click on the text in order to outline, in order to select the first line of text. Then I'm going to head here under Character and I'm going to start to style the text. So I'm going to use a text that is part of font.adobe.com, which is also a service that you can find in Illustrator. Let's see if there is any question. Alberto Silva is giving you a lot of numbers for the pixels. I think that it was Alberto, I think 3mm was about 8.5, but if you probably Google it, Google usually is right. But yeah, you can definitely find their information pretty easily. Thank you so much, Alberto, for letting us know. So the font that I'm going to be using for the text is called Ivy Presto, and you can find it here into click find more, or by clicking just simply into font. I'm going to click into Ivy, and I'm going to make sure that we have it here. As you can see, I have this little cloud with a tick, which means that it's already activated. If you don't, all you have to do is to click on the little cloud and it will be automatically activated in your Illustrator. So ready to use. Let's see if we find the one that we were looking for. I think it was called Ivy Presto headline light. That looks fantastic. And this is our text. Also, I'm going to make sure that I align the text to the center by going here under the paragraph options and clicking once where it says align to center. And as you can see, it moves the text to the center. And also what I'm going to do here perhaps is to increase the size a little bit. Fantastic. Once I'm happy with the editing that I've done, I'm gonna again double click on the text, go under window and type, and then click on paragraph styles in order to bring up our paragraph style panel. All I have to do here now is to click on this little plus to create a new style. Double click on the style to rename it. So here it is. We can find here the paragraph styles option, and I'm going to call that copy, or maybe just text. As you can see here, you can find more formatting, but we're going to talk about that in a second. Perhaps if you wish, we can already change color. So here after character color, click on white and make sure that you tick on the preview. You'll see that the color is changed. I'm going to click on OK. And here it is. Now, in order to apply this text to all our copy, press Command A to select the entire text, and then simply click on the new paragraph style that you created, just right here, called text. So once we're going to do that, all the text is going to be transformed. But what happens if I want to have some different hierarchy in the text? So for example, I really want to bring the reader's eye to the word RSVP or get in touch, or maybe the date. We really want to make them come out. So all I have to do here is to double click on the date, and perhaps I'm going to go ahead and click on the eyedropper tool to select this beautiful salmon pink from the image, so we can keep the text sort of like connected with the same color palette. And then some other changes that we can do is perhaps to go from light to, let's say, semi-bold, and then make it a little bit bigger, just like so. So as you can see, we have a little bit of a issue on the paragraph styles because it's showing a little plus, which tells us that we have additional styles. In this case, if we just want to change a few options, all we have to do is to go under Window, Type, and Character Styles, and this will override the paragraph styles, but it will still keep the same. So for example, the font will stay the same. So in this case, I'm gonna name this one bold and click on OK. And if I want to apply the same editing to RSVP and get in touch, all I have to do is to select it and click on bold. Maybe now, in order to create a new paragraph style, all you have to do is to again select perhaps a new font, like we can select this adventure and make it way bigger for the word dinner party. And again, perhaps select a color from our invitation, from our photo, sorry. And all we have to do here in this case, since we changed the font, is to click on the little plus and we created, I'm going to call this dinner, a new paragraph. Fantastic. I can't believe the time is going so fast. Yes, at RV, you can watch the replay. Absolutely. So something else that I wanted to show you here is that from the paragraph styles, if you double click, and you don't need to select the text, but so you can see the change happening live. If I go under indents and spacing, I will perhaps give a little bit of space after, since the type is so big and we have the white that otherwise intersect with the rest of the text. And once I'm done, all I have to do is to select my text, click and drag by holding Option on Mac, that's Alt on Windows, in order to bring it inside our image, and use Shift Command O in order to outline the text. Then I'm going to click on the rectangle tool and click and drag in order to create another rectangle. Click on I to bring up the eyedropper tool and perhaps use one of those other colors that you can find here in the image, just like so. And I'm going to use the shortcut Command Shift left curly bracket to bring it underneath. Using the pressing of V, we can use the selection tool in order to resize it, just like so. Then click and drag on our images to select all the elements. And let's head to the properties panel, make sure that we align to the artboard and we align horizontally and vertically. And we're ready to go. We have done and styled our fantastic invitation. Now, in order to save for print, what you can do is to use Shift Command S to open the Save As. Oops, sorry. Wrong shortcut. Let me go ahead and use the Export As under the File menu. And we can use perhaps a PNG or a JPEG, depending on what you need. Another option here is again to use Save As and choose the Adobe PDF and click on Save. And here you have the possibility also to use the trim marks and use bleed settings and click on Save PDF. This will give you the opportunity to save the PDF with the marks. So as you can see right now on the screen, we have the trim marks, which are those black lines, but also we can see the bleed. So here is the line over here where the printer is gonna cut. And if his blade goes a little bit higher and cuts, let's say over here, because we always allowed the little 3 millimeter of error, margin of error for big industrial printers, you'll be able to still see the image so it doesn't look like a mistake. Fantastic. Now, another way to export it, perhaps to save it for our Behance, is to use the shortcut option Command E and select the artboard, and then JPEG is absolutely fine. Make sure that you choose the correct destination folder. I'm going to save it on my desktop, and I'm going to use a prefix called invitation 1 and click on export artboard. As you can see, the invitation is ready on my artboard over here, ready into my desktop. Here it is as a JPEG. In order to save it on Behance, all we need is a bigger file, and I really need to go fast here. So I'm going to press Command N to open a new Illustrator file. And I want to make sure that the width is 1400 pixels, and I'm going to give it a height of 1000, just like so, and click on Create. And then all I have to do is Shift Command P to find my invitation that is on the desktop, just like so. Click on Place, and then you can stretch it a little bit by holding Shift in order to constrain proportion. Then click on the rectangle tool and click and drag to create a background. And again, use Command Shift left curly bracket to bring it to the back. Then use I to bring the eyedropper tool and click once in the text. And here it is. The image is almost ready for our Behance project. If you want to take it a little bit of a notch higher, all we have to do is click here on our invitation, click and go under the appearance panel. You can find it under window if you perhaps don't see it. Here it is. And then click under effects, stylize, and drop shadow. And here it is. I'm going to use this setting, so 35% opacity and about 2.2 millimeter offset, and click on OK. So we have a little bit, it looks like it's a piece of paper that is there. And again, in order to save it, Option Command E, and we're going to export this one. Our prefix is going to be for Behance, and export artboard. Fantastic. So I'm going to jump into my folders. And here it is. This is our project ready to be shared both on Discord and Behance. Now, let me see how much time do I have. So perhaps I have time to share with you real quick how to create a project on Behance. Let's make sure that I hit exit my preview. And let's head to our Behance. I'm going to go ahead into my profile here, and I'm going to click on Create a Project. And then I'm going to click on Image in order to upload an image. I'm going to select the image that I've created and click on Open. And fantastic, it's going to be loaded into our Behance project. Now, hopefully it goes fast because time is running out. All you have to do now is to go into Settings and make sure that you tag the project with AI Daily Challenge. As I said before, and of course you're going to give it a project title and all these beautiful details, but that's what I really, really wanted to make sure that you know. Use the tag in order to be discovered into the galleries. I think it's almost time to say goodbye, so I'll go like 1 minute to let you know what's happening on Adobe Live, because it's a fantastic busy day. So you started with Paul Trani, with Professional Designer, and Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge with Kathleen Martin, followed by the wonderful stream with Pierre Lambert and Aaron in photo retouching. Now we just finished our amazing challenge number 2 in Illustrator, and we'll be followed by Packaging Design with Nick Longo, and then Howard Pinsky for the Daily Creative Challenge in XD, and to close the day, the amazing Voodoo Val and made by Lisa Marie. So make sure to go into Discord and share your work, because I look forward to see it, and give me a shout if you want me to give you any feedback. I'll be super, super happy to see what you've done. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I can see Alberto, Michelle, Steve, TM, Wade, Keith. You're having a fantastic time here on Adobe Live doing these other amazing streams that we're gonna be following after mine. Don't forget, we're gonna see each other tomorrow for challenge number 3, but in the meantime, I look forward to see your work on the Discord channel. Thank you so much, everyone, and I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Bye.